Welcome to the fourth video of a series of 6. To begin this video, I'll give a few new definitions, starting with security. Security is the implementation of protection from perceived danger or threats. Hypermasculinity is the exaggerated masculine behavior with the end goal of being feared and/or respected. The focuses of this presentation will be on the us and them attitude, the effects of war, and women as symbolic figures, as well as women as combatants. Thinking in terms of us and them creates fear and ignorance. It allows stereotypes to be carried on. When seeing the world from one point of view, we fail to recognize that other societies embody different identities and cultures that may not make sense to us, but are the best way of life for them. The country that wages war often sees itself as the civilized hero, waging war on countries that are villainous and uncivilized. Divisive thinking shuts down any chance for agreement or compromise that could have been reached through dialogue and diplomacy. Waging war further inflates the feeling of hypermasculinity and superiority. Gendered nationalism is a concept that, simply stated as those who forge and protect the land, have the right to govern the land, which is a dangerous idea that is heavily carried out through society. Women are frequently seen as symbolic figures of war. Women on the home front are expected to reproduce and raise more warriors, maintain the home, and care for children and elders. Women are objectified, captured, raped, killed, and used during war. The women and children paradox applies to the idea that many countries justify waging war on the basis of liberating the women and children, when in reality the civilian women and children frequently experience bombing and other unjust acts, which are just written off as casualties of war. The numbers of women who serve in combative roles are relatively low. Currently, in the U.S., only about 14.6% of active duty military is comprised of women. Some people argue that this is due to physical differences between male and female bodies, but I think it's important for both sexes to be considered when defending a country. For example, draft registration. In the United States, every man must register for the draft when he turns 18. This is not required of women. On a global level, we see the nuclear arms race, which happened in the 1990s during the Cold War, namely between the United States and Russia, as a comparison of who could build up the most weaponry. It's very intimidating and hyper-masculinized tactic that helps prove superiority in the world. Another example would be war prostitutes, which are women in countries where countries have bases during the military. These women are hired to work near the bases to cater to the sexual needs of soldiers. So what can we do to feminize and balance global relations in terms of security? We can open the dialogue. Instead of making threats and waging war, leaders should sit down and talk. Diplomacy is key to a smarter and safer world.